Welcome to lesson 18, and in this one we're going to be talking about how size matters, a weight loss clothing size guide. These are my fat clothes. Yes, I don't like the word fat. I use it. It's the truth. I was fat when I had these clothes on. I was obese. This I used to wear all the time. I could cover up. I wore scarves year-round because I could cover up. I didn't want to see my body. I didn't want other people to see my body, and I thought if I wore baggy clothes, nobody's going to see it. There are, of course, stores that are specifically for plus sizes, but I was used to shopping when I was on my yo-yo diets. I still could shop in most stores. So I kept these clothes. It's a reminder of the fact that I don't want to forget that this is how I used to dress. But I don't wear these clothes anymore. I don't wear big sweaters anymore. I don't feel like I need to cover my body up the way I used to. This was a dress I used to go on dates with. These are my pants. This is size 20. I wore leggings or these black pants every day for 3 years when I was at my heaviest. And yeah, they were a lot bigger. I didn't think that they were big. I still remember putting these clothes on. I didn't think I was this big. Now that I'm looking back on it, I thought that's just the clothes that fit me because the weight had come on gradually. It was over like 4 years time frame to gain those 80 pounds. So it wasn't overnight. So I gradually kept buying larger clothes, and I didn't see myself as this big. I didn't. I had that body dysmorphia. I thought of myself as smaller. Here's another shirt that I bought. This is actually size large, but I remember wearing it so much that it's actually stretched. I have one of my pictures with this shirt on, and like it just hangs on me now because it doesn't fit anymore. Keeping about 5 or 6 shirts to remind myself of what I used to wear. This was a shirt I wore all the time, and yeah, it got pretty worn out because I didn't have a lot of clothes at that point, and I didn't like the clothes. Everything had to be loose. I couldn't wear belts. Everything was loose. I remember that stage where I got to that point where I thought, oh, now I'm one of those people that have to wear baggy clothes. But I didn't know what to do. I was depressed some of the time, and I just didn't care. But then my health got worse and worse. So talking about the sizes, when will you need to buy new clothes? I was losing the weight during COVID, and a lot of the stores weren't open. So I just kept wearing my baggy clothes for a while, and then the stores would open, I'd go and buy a few clothes. So I don't have a lot of clothes in the middle. I was working from home. I wasn't being seen by a lot of people. So approximately every 8 to 10 pounds is another pant size. This is a chart that worked for me. Now I'm 5'5", and I'm over 50 years old, and so related to my size and my body frame, this is very, very general. For the heaviest that I was at 210 pounds, I was around a size 22. At 200 pounds, I was a size 20. At 190 pounds, I was a size 18. So it went down in those sizes. Realize, okay, every 10 pounds, you're going to need to buy the next smaller clothes down. If you can go as long as possible without buying and paying money, save some money, and you can put a belt on something that's looser, or borrow clothes from somebody else when you're going through this, knowing that you're not going to stay at that middle range. And the goal would be to spend the least amount of money if possible of those middle clothes, because what's going to happen, and this happened to me in the past with my yo-yo dieting, I would buy clothes one size up, and then I'd start fitting them, and then they'd get tight, and I'd buy clothes the next size up. And then it also worked the other direction where they're getting looser and looser, and then I buy clothes the next size down, they're tight, and then they're looser. The amount of money I've spent over the years on different sizes is shocking. And as I mentioned in one of those other lessons, I'm not very good at shopping, and so yes, I've wasted a lot of money because I had sewn my own clothes. I didn't actually know how to buy clothes, so I'd buy clothes that I didn't like, or that I didn't like the color of or the fit of. So I've wasted so much money over the years on clothes in different sizes. If you can, borrow clothes, buy inexpensive, buy secondhand, trade off with your sister or your friend or something like that, where you don't have to buy clothes in that middle time as much as possible, and know that you're going to be buying a whole bunch of clothes when you get to the end. And that's what happened with me, where I had all these clothes in these larger sizes, And when I lost the weight, nothing fit. Like nothing fit. Like this is 42 double D. I had gotten up to a 44E at one point. This isn't going to fit me anymore, so I have to buy new clothes. So know that that's going to come in the future. Hopefully, you can share clothes, maybe get some hand-me-downs, or you can go to the secondhand store if you don't want to have to buy new clothes. When I actually had lost all the weight and I saw that I had lost the weight and it was staying off, I fit my daughter's clothes, and so we shared clothes. My older daughter and my son had already moved out, so I couldn't borrow clothes from my older daughter, but my younger daughter was still living with me, is still living with me, and I can share clothes with her. We found a store that had really good sales, so I went and I bought a lot of clothes because nothing had fit at that point. And I was so excited that I wasn't having to go and buy multiple sizes that I knew that this was going to be an investment. So I did spend money when I got to my weight and after I'd maintained it for about 4 months. And I knew, okay, this really worked. I'm not going to keep gaining the weight. So I did invest some money in some clothes. So that's just a general idea of the sizes and realizing that you're not going to fit these pretty soon. You're not going to fit the larger sizes. And how can you save money? Try to borrow. Try to get secondhand if you want. If you want to spend the money, go for it, but don't buy too much in those middle ranges because you're going to go right through them, especially if you're losing 5 pounds a month. Even if you lose 4 pounds a month, which is 1 pound a week, it's not worth buying something that you're only going to wear for 2 months because in another 2 months, you're going to need the next size down. So just be aware of this. I'm trying to share with you the whole picture of what it's like to be overweight, to lose the weight, this whole process, and what it's like to maintain the weight. And this is one part of it, is to understand the clothing sizes. So just a reminder, keep some of your bigger clothes for the during and after photos. I used this shirt for one of my after photos and I tucked it in at the back to show how my waist was smaller. So I did actually put it on for my after photos. I have some other pictures where you're seeing the same clothing in the before, during, and after. I'm going to keep this bra for a long time because it has memories that I used to be this big. And they're just memories to remind myself that I accomplished something and I'm not going to fit those sizes anymore. So I have a box under my bed where I keep these clothes. I'm going to keep them for a long time because it's a reminder of what I did. I wouldn't keep clothes in the middle. That was one of the other things that I was going to tell you is I wouldn't keep those middle clothes, those during clothes. Keep the ones that were when you were the heaviest. Because what can happen, and this happened so many times with me, is I'd have clothes that fit me on those sizes up and then, oh, I can just start fitting those clothes again because I'd already invested the money in them or I had made the clothes. I have all these clothes and then it sort of gave me the permission to gain the weight again. So don't keep the clothes in the middle. Keep the heaviest clothes, and then once you reach your goal, just fill up your wardrobe with the clothes that fit you and get rid of all the rest of the ones in the middle. That's what I recommend to make this stick. So that's the end of Module 6, and we're going into Module 7, which is all about cooking and food and grocery lists. So looking forward to seeing you there.